Hello, my name is Merk. This is my channel. Welcome. We've recently started a series called Libraries of Outlands, and it has to do with all the books available throughout the Outlands. We were going to do one video, but there's way too many books and it's going to take way too long, and the video would have been like 3 days long. So we decided to do one single video on each book that we could find. Maybe sometimes we'll combine it and have 2 or 3. We'll see. I'm going to briefly go over the basics for a weapon and Parry Codexes. Again, Codex allow players to enhance their weapon skills by leveling the Codex stances, as well as unlocking finishers and abilities for their particular weapon skill. All this can be found, by the way, at the website shown above. Players are able to craft codices with the inscription skill. All codices are blessed and cannot be stolen. The fencing codex requires 80 skill points in tactics and fencing. This must be a printed 80, not increased through magic 80. Each character's codex profile is stored per character and not in the item. So each character has their own experience with that codex. You gotta have the codex in the backpack to level it and use it. You can't use weapon abilities and finishers on backstabs. You gain experience points towards your codex by killing creatures with the weapon type matching the codex. So all those staffs. So you can double click the codex and you can see the progress and the menus and all the things you need there. On the top half of the codex gump, you'll see the 5 stances that you can advance in. You click the large button next to each stance to activate it. The small button gives you information about each one, which we'll be going over for Arcane in this video. You can only have one active stance for each codex you have active. Every time you change a stance, it will cost you 3 mana. There's no cooldown. Each stance can be upgraded with upgrade points up to rank 7. There's a codex hotbar, and if you select the stance in that, whatever stance that you select in that hotbar will auto-renew, so it will reactivate every 10 seconds. When a player reaches rank 5 in any stance for a skill, it unlocks the ability to select a finisher. If you have a finisher active, these finishers are large-scale weapon hits, and they often deliver special effects, which we'll talk about. Each codex has 2 finishers that you can choose from, at no cost. You can only trigger 1 finisher on each mob. But if you have a boss type creature, you can trigger a finisher every 60 seconds. Exceptions to that will be included in the discipline aspect armor set. The finisher has tiers. Every time you reach rank 5 in a stance, you'll get the opportunity to increase your finisher. Each tier of finisher has 2% more finisher chance. To occur is also scaled along with this weapon speed. The slower the weapon is, the more likely you are to hit it with a single swing. Each one of these codex has 3 weapon abilities that you can unlock and activate. It takes 50 points to unlock. Once unlocked, the lock symbol of the weapon is replaced with a large orb-shaped weapon ability button. In order for a player to perform weapon ability, the weapon ability meter must be full. All weapon abilities for players share the same weapon ability cooldown. Every 6 seconds, the player's weapon ability meter will fill by 10%, and by an additional 10% depending on your arms lore. This means that you can have 60-second cooldown, but can be decreased all the way down to 24 seconds. Once toggled, the weapon ability will trigger on the next melee hit a player lands, and the weapon meter will be reset, so it's controllable during combat. You can open a codex hotbar, which allows players to quickly change and view their stances, finishers, weapon abilities in one place, as well as set their stance to auto-renew or monitor their weapon ability meter. The codex hotbar can be accessed via the hotbar button at the bottom of the codex gump. So let's jump right into this Parry Codex. It's a little different since it's not a weapons codex. It's Parry, and that means that there's no weapon abilities. The 3 at the very bottom, usually, that show up. This one doesn't have that. So, but what we do have is we have the stances and we have the finishers, which is kind of interesting that it even has the finishers, but that's okay. To begin with, we have Shield Bash, which is increased damage resistance against players' combatants by 3% per rank, and has 4% chance when hit by melee attack from combatants to hinder them for 3 seconds. Okay. This is the one I keep it on all the time, pretty much. Bulwark is pretty good too to keep it on too if you play that style. Number 2 is going to be warding, and warding reduces poison, bleed, and disease tick damage by 8% per rank. Testudo, sorry. Damage resistance increased by 1.5% per rank. Per creature currently aggroed onto player, up to a maximum of 5 creatures. So if you're tanking, that might be a good one. Bulwark is my favorite for tanking though. Mirror is the next one. Reduces spell damage taken by 7% per rank. And then Bulwark increases damage resistance by 5% per rank if a player has been stationary for 3 seconds or more. So that was pretty nice. Now you also have 2 finishers here. One is Last Stand, and it has a 5% chance per rank to reduce any damage taken to 1, which is pretty awesome, especially when you're fighting big monsters that can kill you in 1 hit. That'll save your life. Barrier has a 10% chance per rank to reduce any poison, bleed, or disease damage to 1. So that's pretty good against poisoners or bleed. It's pretty nice. That's about it for the Parry Codex. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you comment. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. And hit that post notification button as well. And that's good enough for this one. Thanks. Peace out.